You know that feeling when something's just off? Not wrong, not obvious, just off. Like a smell in the air you can't quite place. That's what it felt like. I'm Daniel. I've been married to Lisa for 15 years. We have 2 kids. Sarah is a junior in college in Chicago, and Josh just started his first year down in Texas. The house is quieter now, empty. But I always thought this would be the time we'd reconnect. We spent all those years building a family. I thought now, finally, we could enjoy the quiet, just the two of us. I was wrong. I run a small construction company. I leave early and come home late, but I always made time for my family. Never missed a single game, concert, or parent-teacher meeting. Lisa stayed home with the kids until they hit middle school. Then she went back to work in marketing. I was proud of her. I thought we were a team. The first sign was so small it barely registered. She started showering as soon as she got home. Not after dinner, not before bed, but immediately. She said it helped her reset. I shrugged it off. Maybe she was just tired from work. That seemed reasonable. But then, there were the nights she forgot to call the kids. Lisa used to light up every time Sarah or Josh called. Now, she'd silence her phone and say she'd catch up later. I figured she was just busy. But it kept happening. She also started taking longer business trips. She'd come back late, saying the team was working on a project. But it didn't add up. It didn't seem like the company was that busy, and she started getting home later and later. The hours just didn't make sense. At first, I didn't think anything of it. But then I noticed she started dressing differently for work. More makeup, new heels, clothes I hadn't seen before, things she hadn't worn in years. She said it was just because she was trying to feel confident in her new role. That was reasonable, right? She had a promotion. She worked hard. Then came the laughter. I'd hear it from the other room. Late at night. Quiet giggles, breathy, like something out of place. When I walked in, she'd be sitting there, scrolling through her phone, face lit up. When I asked who she was texting, she'd say, "Just Emily from work." I thought nothing of it. But I noticed she started to laugh differently, like she was sharing something private, something I wasn't a part of. It didn't seem like a big deal at first. But then, the phone calls. She'd start stepping away to take calls. Always private. Always in another room. I tried to ignore it, but one night after she hung up, I heard her say something under her breath. "He's such a fool." That's when the doubt crept in. But it wasn't until I found the hotel receipt that everything changed. I was cleaning out the back of the car, and I found it. A hotel keycard, still in the sleeve. It was from a nice hotel downtown. I remember the date, because it was the weekend she said she was visiting her sister. The card had the date stamped on it. I didn't need to think twice. So, I did what any man in my position would do. I checked our bank statement. There it was. A charge to that same hotel. 2 meals, one on Saturday night and another one Sunday morning. The weekend she was with her sister. I didn't confront her. I couldn't. I knew what was happening, but I wasn't ready to face it. Not yet. Still, I kept my distance. I worked more. I didn't ask questions. But I started paying attention. The next Thursday, I took the day off work. I wanted to see if I could catch her. She left the house at 6:30 p.m., dressed up. Not like she was going to the office. I followed her. She drove to downtown and parked in a garage. I parked a few blocks away and waited. An hour later, I saw her through the window of a restaurant. She was sitting across from a man I didn't recognize. They were laughing. He leaned in too close. She touched his arm. I took photos, but not because I needed proof. I already knew. The worst part? She looked happy, happier than I had seen her in months. I waited a few more days. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wasn't going to make the mistake of showing my cards too soon. Then came her birthday. She told me she didn't want anything big, just a quiet dinner at home. But I had something else in mind. I was done being patient. I planned everything. A private dinner at her favorite restaurant. But I invited everyone. Her parents, our closest friends, co-workers, and even Emily. I rented a projector, and I made a slideshow. But it wasn't of happy moments. It wasn't a celebration. It was every photo of her with him, every receipt, every message I found on her phone, the ones she thought she deleted. The night arrived. She looked beautiful in a new dress, walking into the restaurant, smiling. She thought it was just a surprise birthday dinner. She never saw it coming. I stood up, smiled at everyone, and clinked my glass. "I want to take a moment," I said, "to show you all what Lisa's been up to behind my back." I hit play. The photos started rolling. Her kissing him. The hotel receipts. Text messages she thought I'd never see. One read, "He's such a fool. He trusts me so much." I looked at her face. The color drained from her skin. Her hands shook. She tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. She turned to run, but her parents were already standing, staring at her in disbelief. The room was silent except for her breath catching in her throat. "Everyone," I said, my voice steady, "I thought you should know the truth. This is what she's been hiding from all of us." I watched her leave in a rush. It felt surreal, but at the same time, it was exactly what she deserved. The next few days were chaos. Her boss fired her. Word spread fast. She tried to call me. Apologies, tears, begging. But I had nothing to say. I filed for divorce. Clean. Fast. The kids? They were devastated. Sarah and Josh heard the news from their friends. They were both home for the weekend, and I could see the hurt in their eyes when they looked at me. I didn't want to tell them everything, but I didn't have to. They knew their mother had betrayed us all. I told them that I loved them, that they were the most important part of my life, and I promised them we'd move forward, together. It's been 6 months. I'm still running my business, still working hard, but there's peace now. No more lies. Lisa? She's out of a job. Her friends have stopped calling. Her affair partner, his wife left him too. And just like that, everything she built on lies came crashing down. But me? I don't regret a thing. I wasn't just the guy she lied to. I was the one who walked away while everything she had crumbled to dust. And I did it quietly. No drama, no anger, just the truth.